I don't have any announcement to make on refugees. We're always looking at every option. I mentioned that there were 1,800 Americans, American citizens, Palestinian Americans that we tried to certainly get home or come to the States after October 7th. We were trying to make sure that we got that done. As it relates to vetting and making sure that we are vetting folks who are coming to do that, that is something that we take very, very seriously.
There you go, another muddled and weak message from White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre discussing a potential plan to bring Palestinian refugees into America. A group of more than 30 Republican senators sending a letter to the Biden administration demanding that they end their plans to bring in Gazan refugees and instead focus on securing the release of U.S. hostages currently held by Hamas. The senators also write this, quote, with more than a third of Gazans supporting the Hamas militants, we are not confident that your administration can adequately vet this high-risk population for terrorist ties and sympathizers before admitting them into the United States. Joining me now is Ohio Congressman Warren Davidson, a member of the House Financial Services Foreign Affairs Committees and a member of the House Task Force combating Mexican drug cartels. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Always an honor. Thank you, Maria.
Well, what do you think? Is this a real plan? It feels like if he were to bring Gazans, Palestinians from Gaza, to America now, isn't that suggesting he's responding in a positive way to these anti-Israel protesters?
Yeah, I think absolutely. And look, you can feel empathy for the fact that there's some peace-loving people in Gaza that would love to be free from Hamas, but it does the exact wrong thing. You want those people to be protected in Gaza so that Gaza has a future, and you want to extract the evil Hamas leadership that is crushing the people of Gaza and, frankly, has massacred the people of Israel. So that's exactly what Israel's trying to do, is extract the lethal danger to the people of Israel, but also the people that are harmful to the peace-loving people of Gaza. To the extent we could find those, I think the senator's letter is exactly correct. How could you possibly vet these people in at a time when you say, surely we would love to have humanitarian assistance and get folks away? Look at the folly of this port that the Biden administration wants to put into Gaza. Hamas is shooting at Americans, drawing fire, trying to draw America into the war. So it's actually exposing people to more harm.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, the president is getting slammed this morning for his weak message yesterday after going 10 days without an on-camera statement on the anti-Israel riots and the anti-Semitism raging. President Biden finally addressed the chaos that had some Jewish students afraid to show up for class. Watch this.
Moments like this, there are always those who rush in to score political points. But this isn't a moment for politics. There should be no place on any campus, no place in America for anti-Semitism or threats of violence against Jewish students, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or discrimination against Arab Americans or Palestinian Americans. Destroying property is not a peaceful protest.
By the way, there has been no Islamophobia. Okay, let's just be clear. There is anti-Semitism raging in the country. There has been no Islamophobia. The New York Post editorial board is out with this, quote, Biden fails test on pro-Hamas thuggery at colleges. The president as bankrupt on morality as he is on policy. They also say that there has been zero Islamophobia at these protests, Congressman. A similar condemnation from the Wall Street Journal. Kim Strassel writes, Biden fails the campus protest test. His fear of taking on the crazy left poses a real threat to his re-election chances. Your reaction, Congressman?
Yeah, I think it's important not to become a reactionary here. You know, speech is protected. Violence is not. Shutting down the campus is not. Threats to and intimidation to other students. Those things aren't protected. You know, Republicans have been consistent on that. Hopefully Democrats become consistent and this doesn't turn into another summer of love with all these mostly peaceful protests. The response at Columbia in particular was terrible. At Ohio State, we had protests. They were disrupted pretty quickly once they were violating campus policies. So speech protected, but occupation, taking over buildings, violence and vandalism, not protected. And it's important that the country really stay unified behind that.
Yeah, look, and my unofficial You know, look at all of this. It felt to me like Florida was the best. They will not take any of it and said, you know the rules, you broke the rules, now you face the consequences, period. That's the kind of pushback we need to see for any of this, any group. Anti-Semitism, any group. House Republicans, by the way, I want to get your take on this, Congressman. House Republicans who backed that motion to oust former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are now distancing themselves from Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and her motion to oust Speaker Mike Johnson. Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's going to introduce this motion next week. She wants him out. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, and Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz all coming out against this motion. Burchett is warning that the motion could end up putting a Democrat in control of the House of Representatives. Congressman, where are you on this?
Well, look, when they made the motion to vacate Kevin McCarthy, the first thing that happened was a motion to table. So it is a privileged motion, and it deserves an answer. I don't think that the motion to table should be made in order. So then, as now, I will vote against tabling the resolution. And because Hakeem Jeffries has said he's going to support a motion to table, I don't think we're ever going to get an answer on the motion to vacate this time. Last time we were able to vote both ways. But here's the thing, you know, Congressman Mike Johnson is a guy that everybody united behind and got and supported him to become the next Speaker of the House. But Speaker Mike Johnson has made all kinds of bad decisions that, frankly, the majority of the party has not supported. So we're hoping to reclaim Mike Johnson, get him back in the role as Speaker, and get him back on track. I mean, no wonder Democrats plan to cover for him. He's delivering a lot of their agenda.
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out this yesterday. Mike Johnson responded to FBI corruption by giving them a new headquarters, to Biden lawfare by fully funding the DOJ, to border insanity by spending billions on migration assistance, and to Hamas's attack on Israel by giving them a $9 billion earmark, and to college communism by enacting speech codes, Congressman.
Yeah, all of that's accurate. You know, you look at the refugee resettlement program, that was funded because of fully funding the government. You know, his comments leading up to all the funding fights, including the supplemental funding, was we're going to secure America's border first. And you know, that was a broken promise. So yeah. I think people are right to be upset. I just watched Citizen Kane, the remake, thought it was really well done. Or not Citizen Kane, you know, the Kane Mutiny. My apologies. Oh, okay. And the Kane Mutiny, everyone agrees Captain Queeg's not doing the right things. The question is, can we support Captain Queeg and help him succeed, or do we need to relieve Captain Queeg? And I think that's the debate we're having.
And it sounds like you want to help Mike Johnson get to the right solutions, but you're not ready to take him out.
Well, he's resisted help so far, so I hope we can help him get back on track. But we certainly can't continue to deliver the Democrats' agenda.
Congressman, thank you. We'll be watching all of that. Warren Davidson joining us this morning.